All right, so let's talk about the viewing angle. On this TV. Now, you guys have to keep in mind Q8FN. It's really designed for a very lit up, bright room. Obviously, in a dark, pitch black room, this TV it's not gonna have the greatest black levels because it's the brightest there is. It's the brightest TV there is currently right now, along with the Q9FN. So, having said that, you know, this TV, it's not intended for you to be watching it in a very, very dark room. But remember, you can always regulate a that peak brightness. There's ways to do that. You know, this is what I was. See how bright it is. See how much of that exposure light there is. You can always regulate this. It's very simple. Just go to the backlit and just move that backlit down a little bit. Move it down a bit, and you're gonna be fine. But remember, it depends on your environment, where you are. Okay, where you are. This is currently it's a 4K Ultra HD stream. I'm using this as a reference point from one of the shows on Amazon. Now the viewing angles are pretty darn good for a full array local dimming, backlit, LCD, LED television. You know, this is still a LCD panel with a backlit. You know, this is something that you will always appreciate about this TV is the fact that you don't have to worry about the burn-in. You don't have to worry about the retention on the screen, and you're still getting a good viewing angle. You're still getting a good deep dark levels. And above all, what you're getting here is the brightest peak brightness and the most accurate color accuracy. All right? You're not going to be able to achieve that color accuracy with 750 or even 800 nits of peak brightness with OLED. And you're not supposed to use a full blasting OLED light on the OLED, because if you do that, you're gonna have a burn-in. With Q8F and Q9FN, you don't have to worry about that. So here I selected a different scene right now. This is in 4K Ultra HD, and it looks really good. The deep dark levels are really nice. The viewing angle, as you can see right here, it's pretty darn good. And I have dimmed down my lights. You can see that lamp, it's green. I have dimmed down my lights. And here too, you will see as I'm moving to the center, you will see that it's still the same picture quality. I'm not losing any kind of like viewing angle. We're gonna do this again. We're gonna move back this way to the left. We're gonna go to the left side right here, and you will see I'm not losing any viewing angle here. I just went full 180 right here, an angle of 180. It's not full 360, it's a 180, and it's still pretty darn good. But are you really going to be watching TV from this side? Of course not. But even if you are, if you're watching a football game, you're still going to be able to see that football game. So that's pretty darn good. So remember, when it comes to the peak brightness, you know, you can always regulate that backlit. You know, you got 1600 nits here. If you're sitting very close to the TV and you're in a dimmed room, you're in a very dark room, you don't need that 1600 nits of peak of brightness. You only need that if you are like in a very, very lit up room. And this is something that I see a lot of people make mistake. You know, the reason you have that peak brightness nits, it's to really give that HDR and that color the best possible pop that you can get. You're not going to get this type of a pop of color and peak brightness with OLED. OLED simply cannot achieve that. You know, you cannot get that. So let's do this again. Let's Do it again like this, a little bit closer. Let's move to the left a little bit higher, a little bit to the left like this. And then let's move to the center like this. And then move to the right again, all the way to the right like this. And it's still good. And it's still good. Okay, so let's talk about the settings. You see how that the backlit light sometimes affects the that shows you how bright the TV is, how it affects the exposure on the camera lens. So let's talk about the settings. I currently have my dynamic settings here. For this, like when I'm watching a documentary and stuff like that, I like to keep it on a dynamic. Now, here's the deal. If you are going to be watching, let's say, you want to watch this TV at night, and you want to have two different presets. Depending on how dimmed your room is, this backlit you have to adjust this backlit based on your environment. I don't know what your environment is. I don't know what your surroundings are and how dimmed your room is. So this will depend on where you are in the room, guys. All right. Currently, for me right now, this is good. 29 is good. Backlit. I don't have any issues with this. This runs smooth. As you can see right here, it looks great. No issues, no problems. The picture looks good. The deep dark levels look good. The color really pops here. As you can see right here, it really does pop. And you can see that I have dimmed down my lights. There they are. They're dimmed down. Same thing here. I have dimmed down my lights purposely so that way I can see how it looks. So the color here looks great. Looks very accurate as it should be. There is no any loss of uniformity here. 55-inch, you will have a great uniformity with a 55-inch. No bending, bleeding light that I can see here. I'm not losing any, it's not the perfect viewing angle, but it's definitely a great viewing angle for a very, very, very bright 1600 nits television. Okay, guys, this is an excellent viewing angle for a television that has over 1600 nits of peak of brightness, so it looks really great. And yes, this is HDR. People have been asking me about HDR Plus. Well, I don't currently have any programs that support HDR Plus. As soon as they start releasing a HDR Plus programming or movies and stuff like that, I will do review on that. And I will do comparison between HDR Plus and Dolby Vision, because I have both Dolby Vision and HDR Plus. And now I have all three HDR formats. So I will be able to test all three different HDR formats. So as you can see here, what I have shown you is that the color pop, it pops as it should be, because you got 100% color accuracy. You can see everything in the detail on ISS, International Space Station, that's orbiting around our planet. And you can see the astronauts here. They're inside the International Space Stations, and they're talking, communicating to NASA. And this is in 4K and HDR. And I can bring my camera a little bit closer if you guys want to see that. Again, the viewing angle, I can do that. Here we go here. You see no issues, no bending light on the deep dark levels. See, I got my light there, I got my light there. No problems. The deep dark levels are fine. Same thing here with this guy. This is a good viewing angle, but who's going to be watching a TV from this viewing angle? No one's going to be watching it from that viewing angle. Same thing here. You see I got my lights dimmed down. Both lights are dimmed down here. There it is. No issues with the viewing angles. Everything looks good. I purposely dimmed down the lights so that way you guys can see that I'm not having any issues with a bleeding light. Guys, for a very bright TV, for a very high nits of peak brightness, this is pretty amazing to be having this kind of aggressive local dimming zones. I mean, you getting like all three ingredients is here. You getting highest peak brightness nits, you getting a full 100% color accuracy on a full spectrum of colors, and on top of that you are getting, I would say, the best possible deep dark levels for a LCD backlit, LCD panel backlit LED. There's still lights behind this television, obviously, but this is pretty amazing, you know. With OLED, if I left it like this with OLED, there would be a burn-in. You would see a burn-in. You would see stuff happening, you know. So it wouldn't look as good. Maybe I can bring my camera a little bit closer so you guys can see it. As you can see, the deep dark levels are really nicely presented here. The detail on the suit, the detail on the people's faces, everything, it's really nicely represented here. The background, it really looks like three-dimensional. Like the best way I can explain it, it looks as if it's three-dimensional type of a picture. That's how it looks. So anyway, just a short little video I wanted to do. I just wanted to show you in 12 minutes that, guys, I'm going to do some more tests. I'm going to do some more comparison. I just got this TV. This is my 4th video. Just be patient. I know you guys have a lot of questions. You guys have a lot of requests for this television. These tests will take time to properly test everything, to check the FreeSync via my AMD graphics card, and then Xbox One X and the game mode versus FreeSync. All of these things will take time for me to test. But listen, so far, I'm impressed. What I have seen so far with this television, I'm really impressed. So that's good news. That's very good news. All right, guys. Well, thank you for watching.